Hello Hearties, it's Catherine here, and today's video has been inspired by an email that I received from a private mentoring client. Now, we had started our work together by sitting down for a whole day to plan out and map out a plan for her business and a strategy for how she was going to attract her clients. But once we were a few months into our work together, I received an email from her, and the email went something like this. Now, this is not the actual email. I've adapted this to use as an example, but the email said pretty much something along these lines. Catherine, I am really enjoying the strategy we've been working on, and I'm already starting to see the results. But a few days ago, I was at an event, and somebody I met there suggested that I launch a podcast. The day after, I was speaking to someone else who said they thought that running a telesummit would be a great idea for me. And I've also met a book coach who thinks that I should be writing a book. I'm also worried about my Facebook activity and whether I'm doing it properly. And I know I need to get more consistent about my blogging and sending my blogs out. I'd like to speak to you about all of this during our next session. Okay, so like I said, that's not the exact email, that's my example, but it gives you the gist. Now, all I can say to that is, phew. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted just hearing all of that or just reading all of that in an email. And to add to that, this was from a mum who only has so many hours in the day to work on her business in the first place. So I know that she's probably not the only one with an idea a minute about new things she can be doing to attract new clients into her business. Great ideas even, really great ideas, of course. Every one of those ideas is potentially a great idea for her. But here's my question. Can she do them all without burning out, neglecting her family, and possibly even falling out of love with her business in the process? Quite probably not. In fact, I would say that if she was to run off and try and implement all of those different ideas, she'll probably fall down through not doing any of them quite well enough to really get traction and see the results. And here's the thing, and this is what I told her when I next spoke to her, and it's what I want to tell you today because it might be a useful message for you too. There will always be a zillion million different ways that you can market your business and attract new potential clients to find out more about you, your work, and how you can help them. But this is the thing that I've discovered and observed in my nearly 8 years now since I started in business. What I've observed is this, that of all of the people I know, and I say all of the people who I know who have established a genuinely successful and sustainable business in that time. And I'm talking about people like my business peers who I saw grow their businesses from a standing start to a 6-figure turnover, and in some cases much, much bigger than that. And also clients of mine, former mentoring clients who have got into their groove of what I call their stage 4 business, their sustainable, successful business that they love to run, that's in flow for them. The thing that all of these people have in common is that all of them typically have just 1 to 2 core things that they do that bring in the majority of their clients, and that's where they put their focus. So they have just 1 or 2 things that they do, and they do those things very well. And they do those things very consistently, and most importantly, they're not constantly chopping and changing and trying new things all the time. But if they do decide to do something new, maybe launch that podcast, brilliant idea. It's a great idea for my client as well. So if they have this idea, they don't go and do this at the expense of something else that's already working, especially if they have no guarantees about the outcome of the new thing. And instead they pause and they reflect and they look at how they can fit this into their other activities, and they consider the pros and cons and the demands on their time and energy. And once they've made a decision, if they decide to do something new, they will go off and do it properly, and they will implement just 1 new thing at a time. So in other words, people with sustainable and successful businesses that they actually enjoy running and without making huge sacrifices in other areas of their life, keep their marketing quite lean and quite simple. And I'm very much in that camp. I have a couple of core marketing strategies that I have followed and that I continue to follow that bring in the vast majority of the clients to my business. And the reason I'm saying this is because I know that you didn't go into business because you wanted to become a full-time marketer. You went into business because you want to get well paid to help other people. And actually, I would guess that in your case, you want to be spending the majority of your time actually working with your clients rather than constantly pursuing and learning new and complex and time-consuming marketing approaches. So if this is making sense to you, here's my advice to you. First of all, get really clear on what are those 1 or 2 marketing strategies that you're going to focus most of your efforts on to attract new potential clients to your business. And these would be the things that are likely to give you the best results when you take into account things like your personal strengths, your existing skill set, your location, your budget, the resources available to you, and the contacts, and most importantly of all, what you think you'll enjoy, because there is no point adopting marketing strategies and approaches if you don't enjoy doing them, because it's going to be very hard for you to motivate yourself to do things consistently if you don't really enjoy doing it. And then implement these 2 strategies and do that one at a time and focus on them until you have firstly learned how to do them properly, and secondly, and this is so important, that you're doing them consistently and as part of your regular business routine. So you know that they are here to stay. And of course, you'll need to observe and measure and make sure that you know how well they're working for you. But also really, really do beware, and I can't stress this enough, even the most effective marketing strategies, the ones that are going to be your absolute sweet spots in future in your business, do take some time to get up and running. That's just the nature of things. So whatever you do, please don't throw the towel in too soon just because you're not seeing instant results after just a few weeks. And of course, once you've got these core strategies up and running and they're working for you, of course you're still going to have ideas for new things you could do. This might be inspiration that bubbles up out of your own inner wisdom. It might be something you come across online. It might be someone that someone else suggests to you as a great idea for you and that you feel genuinely excited about. And I'm not saying for a minute you shouldn't pursue these things, but what will happen is that instead of being in a position of grasping at straws and thinking that you have to implement all these different things at once and end up spreading yourself too thin, you'll be in a position of being able to sit back and ask yourself some very important questions, like, will I enjoy doing this? Like, given the stage of business that I'm at and my existing resources and the reach that I have currently, do I think that this will work for me right now and is the best use of my time and energy? Do I think this thing would be fun to do, fun to give a go, even if it doesn't give me the results that I'm looking for? Can I fit this in alongside the rest of my business commitments without stress and overwhelm? And maybe even do I have the right sort of support available to me to make this happen? And then you can make a conscious and clear decision about whether to add something new into the mix of your marketing approaches. And yes, you may very well decide to launch that podcast or run a one-off event or conference or telesummit, but it doesn't mean that you'll be throwing out you won't be throwing the baby out with the bathwater in order to go and make that happen. So does this resonate? Are you starting to see that actually having too many ideas for your business and your marketing might actually be one of the things that's holding you back? Can you recognize that perhaps you're trying to do too much at the moment to attract clients, and because you're not doing any of them well enough, you're not managing to get traction with any of them? If that's you, do let me know. Do let me know in the comments below this video. I always love to hear from you. And If you feel that you'd like more help from me in helping you to identify what are those 1 or 2 marketing strategies that will be the sweet spot for you in your business and will form the foundations of a business that you really can fall in love with, then you might be interested to know that the Business from the Heart membership community is opening up for enrollment again very soon. I'm going to be opening the doors from the 7th to the 15th of November. So if you'd like to join and get support from me as you continue to grow your heart-centered business, do keep your eye on your emails during that week. And you'll be hearing more from me about it then. I really can't wait to give you further and closer support with growing your successful and sustainable business that you can stay in love with. Lots of love to you. See you soon. Bye-bye.